Yeah. Okay, we need to have like a blooper at the end too. Like there's too much
Behind
right
the
now.
scenes, right?
Awesome. Hey guys, Koukun here. Today we're in the city of Port Colborne with our client Babar. He's purchased this gorgeous 1,600 square foot bungalow that he's converting into a legal duplex, and we're going to go into some of the details surrounding this. Now, before we talk to Babar, Babar actually worked with our investment coach Jiva on our team. And Jiva, when you saw this property, what was it that made you recommend this property to Babar?
First and foremost, Port Colborne is a great up-and-coming area. This location in general is actually just blocks away from the lake. Great area, very family-oriented. When I first walked into this raised bungalow, those are the types of properties we love duplexing. But this is 1,600 square feet, 3-bedroom up, 3-bedroom down. Just the vision that we had, it was pretty grand, but we're really glad that we were able to find somebody who's willing to take the risk and take this project on. Plus, it has a lot of future potentials to make it into a triplex, and we even have a verbal okay from the city that we can add a separate detached house in the back.
Just the amount of space this bungalow has, being 1,600 square feet, it just feels bigger than the typical 1,000 to 1,100 square foot bungalow that we typically purchase. And that additional space just makes everything feel bigger. The living room, the kitchen has an island, and we have a dining space, and all the bedrooms just feel more spacious. So it really shows and feels bigger, and as a result, even the rent that you're able to achieve is a lot higher than I would have thought you could get in Port Colborne. So what kind of rent did you actually get for this place?
Yeah, we were very fortunate to get 2250 plus hydro for the upstairs. Acknowledging that that's on the higher end, and especially in Port Colborne. Again, the factors that played into getting a higher rent were the space, the finishes. We had an old boiler radiant heating system that we replaced with forced air. We split the hydro, so there's a separate service for the upstairs and the basement. Brand new kitchen, bathroom, paint, flooring, and just in general the space, as Koukun mentioned, each bedroom is 10 by 12 and the biggest is 12 by 12. So lots of natural light. We have pot lights all over the place as well. So we were pretty happy with the 2250 plus hydro.
Awesome. Yeah, no, this is a spectacular property. The basement is still under renovation. It's not quite done yet, but you already have it advertised because of the space. What kind of rent are you charging down there?
So down for the basement, we're targeting 1850 plus hydro. Again, it's 1,600 square feet, 3-bed, 1-bath with very similar finishes to the main floor. And we're already screening some tenants for a potential move-in 3 weeks from now. And there's a large backyard that the upstairs and the basement will be sharing, as well as tons of parking up front. So, and I think, as Jiva mentioned, the location is pretty amazing. We're very close to downtown Port Colborne and a lot of amenities around. So we're pretty excited about the basement as well.
Yeah, this property is literally incredible, because even just based on the numbers, based on your purchase price of around 500,000, it needed a lot of work. No questions asked about that. But the cash flow numbers, even just from the upper unit, you're going to be plus a little bit after all your costs, and all of that basement rent is going to be added to the positive cash flow. So we're looking at close to $2,000 a month in potential cash flow on a single duplex, which is literally unheard of. We've not done a deal anywhere close to these kind of numbers, I don't think. So it's incredible, and hopefully you get a really good appraised value as well, because we're starting to see duplex sales, really come back strong. If you can pull your money out, then it's a win on every level, right? And you're still left with a quality property. That's what I love about this kind of strategy. You're buying really solid properties, because I hear of people doing the burst strategy, but many times I see them buy like these ugly properties in terrible areas, dealing with all sorts of problems after they rent it out. Right. The tenant profile you're going to get on a place like this, you're not going to have those challenges. Once it's done, it's done. You have a solid property you can keep for the long term. So I'm really happy how this turned out. Yeah, so Jiva, since Babar's purchased this property, this was in around July, right?
Right.
Since then, what has the market here in Port Colborne been like? Are these deals still available, or what's the pricing looking like, and what's the dynamic been since this purchase?
Right, so right off the bat, we knew Port Colborne was up and coming. It's definitely hot. Vacancies are very low. Now, you put up this property for rent, and how many applicants did you have in total?
In 3 days, we had 60 applicants.
So there are many people looking for rent. There's a housing shortage, and I love the strategy that Babar actually wanted to have pride of ownership in this renovation. Everything was high end, and that's why he fetched such great numbers. You know, it's not. I've seen instances where somebody would buy a really nice property, cheap out, just do lipstick finishes, and then their rents are pretty low. But if you put the energy and effort into it, get high-end finishes, you'll definitely find value. And a property like this will definitely be a solid property in your portfolio. So in the last 6 months since the purchase, this was purchased for $500,000. Just in the last 6 months, I would say this would be as is. You could probably pick this up for low sixes, just in the 6 month appreciation alone. There are many properties in Port Colborne available similar to this, obviously not at the $500,000 range. It's a little bit more, but you definitely still you can implement the same strategy, get the same cash flow. It's just a matter of finding the right property in the best location.
So we're now in the backyard of this property, and you can see the lot actually keeps going until that clothesline back there, and it's 100-foot wide, which is incredible. But yeah, Babar has a very interesting story to share. So this neighborhood, the neighbors are incredible. They're families, it's a nice community. But something very interesting happened on this property. Why don't you share?
We had all our tools and our brand new appliances sitting right in the front, which attracted attention. So while this neighborhood is really safe, we had, I think it was a couple of teenagers that tried to break in, and the neighbors called the cops on them, and they got arrested. So, I never quite imagined that would be part of my real estate journey, but you know what? That's, all part of the learning experience.
So Babar, the one thing you were saying is to try to get those premium rents, you want to provide outdoor space to each unit. So the door we just passed back there is going to be the dedicated entrance to the upper level unit. So what's the plan for this massive sort of L-shaped backyard here?
Yeah, so it's an L-shaped, and I think that basically what we're thinking about from how to divide the backyard from the upstairs and the basement is that have this entire section dedicated to the main floor, as the main floor is anyways coming in through the back door to access the garage, and then the basement is going to have essentially, starting from here, this entire space to the front. We recognize that a lot of the tenants do appreciate a backyard. Either they have kids or they have dogs, pets. They do need some space in the back. So we're thinking of dividing this right over here. That way both tenants have ample space for the backyard.
Yeah, it's incredible to give outdoor space to each unit, especially a basement unit. It's not something that you can always do, right? So that really differentiates this basement from even just like an apartment building, where there may be a 3-bedroom apartment, but they don't get dedicated outdoor space. So that's incredible.
So one common mistake investors make is that they do not redirect all downspouts away from the house. So if you look at the land, you'll notice that because there's a lot of water buildup there, the actual flagstones, they dip towards because it just keeps sinking. So what Babar did is that he bought downspouts this morning. Actually, he's going to be connecting it there. He's going to go about 8 feet this way, and you can see the grading, and all the water is going to go away. And then he'll ensure that there's no water leaks in the future. So just a tip to all investors. Number one, the biggest concern for your basement is going to be water. Redirect all your water downspouts away from the house, and it could save you thousands in damages.
So Babar, this driveway is one of the key features that you liked about this property. Tell us why.
Yeah, so with the duplex, we wanted to make sure that there's ample parking space. Looking at how wide and long this driveway is, we could comfortably fit 4 cars side by side and front and back. Then we also have a garage that could easily fit another 2 cars depending on the size of it.
All right, so let's go show you the garage here. This garage has like a 6 ceiling height,
Right.
You got to carve out a little bit of it to get access to the basement. But Jiva, you were saying one of the potentials with this garage was.
Yeah, there's a couple of potentials because we have the 100-foot frontage, and the depth is pretty much close to 100 as well. You could extend this area to make it into a third unit. You could extend it sideways to the back, or even go up one level. You can have a 1-bedroom upstairs, 2-bedroom upstairs. This open area could be a kitchen, open concept kitchen, bathroom, and a living area. And yeah, the possibilities are endless on this one.
Yeah, when you have a good piece of land, there's a lot you can do. Especially your experience, Jiva, you have a property that you're building an addition, you're building a garage, right? So these are definitely things that we haven't actually explored too much until now, just because properties in Niagara were reasonably affordable that we could just work within the existing space. But as these prices continue to rise, it's now starting to make sense to look at, okay, what does an addition cost? What does a second story cost, right? If you can get a property with a good piece of land, like what are the other potentials to sever or to build like a detached suite? So we're exploring all of these right now. This property has quite a bit of potential, but for now, you know, I'll take $2,000 of cash flow any day, all right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. This was such an incredible property to come check out, and I'm really excited to even see the basement get finished off. It'll be one incredible 1,600 square foot basement apartment. If you're interested in creating a legal basement apartment, definitely check out our free beginner's guide to creating a legal basement apartment. It'll be in the comments below. And if you have any questions, feel free to comment. All the best.